Teaching can be one of the most rewarding professions, but it can also be one of the most draining if you don't take steps into ensuring your self-care. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 tips on how you can make sure that you are pouring into yourself before you pour into your students. Welcome to my channel. My name is Michelle Griffo, and I am so excited you're here. On my channel, I like to share my 11 years of teaching experience with you, as well as all things fashion, lifestyle, and lipstick. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel. You do that by clicking the subscribe button down below, and then every time you hop on a YouTube, you're notified of my newest video. Today, I'm going to share with you 10 ways on how you can make sure that you are taking care of yourself before you take care of your students. Number 1, start your day with a beverage that you enjoy on your way to work. You can make coffee at home, run through Starbucks, drink tea, whatever is your favorite thing to get you out of bed and know that you get some sort of reward on the way to work. It's simple, but it really helps. Number 2, make sure you have boundaries on how much you work. If you're a teacher, you're probably passionate and driven and you want to make sure you pour into your students' lives. But you also need to make sure that you can stop and take time for yourself. Otherwise, you'll be working around the clock. A couple ideas on how to make sure you set up boundaries for yourself is pick a couple of days you're going to stay late throughout the week and then make sure you leave at a reasonable hour the other days. Also, I like to make sure on Saturday and Sunday I take one of those days off completely. That includes browsing Pinterest for ideas for my classroom, prepping. All things teaching are put on pause one day a week. That really makes sure that I can invest in myself as a human being and take my teaching hat off for a day. Number 3, try to rest during your lunch break. On the days I found myself working straight through lunch, the end of the day is here, and all of a sudden I am just exhausted and spent. Versus the days that I actually take a lunch break, I find that when the end of the school day comes, I still have more to give. So what I like to do is I spend my lunch break relaxing, actually eating, maybe going for a little walk outside, leaving campus, getting lunch with a coworker, spending time catching up on text, personal emails, something that involves fueling myself as a person. Then parts of my lunch break, or some days you can't avoid it, you have to prep or work a little bit during lunch. But it's really important to take time for yourself every day during the school day on one of your breaks. Number 4 is use your sick days and mental health days. Right off the bat, when I started as a teacher, I got this impression that I should feel guilty for having a sub or that I weren't owed those days. Those days are written in your contract to where you should be able to take them for yourself if you're not feeling well mentally or physically. Don't feel bad or guilty. Your students will survive, the school will survive without you there, and things will go on. A thank you note goes a long way. So if another teacher or a staff member has to make up and sub for you while you're gone, take that day, do not feel guilty, but write a thank you note after telling how much you appreciated it. Because there are going to be days where you have to step and pick up the slack from someone else, but that shouldn't stop you from taking days that you need. Number 5 is find a bestie you can connect with at work. It makes the day so much more enjoyable when you have peers at work that you look forward to see. That can be one person, it can be the whole staff. I know it's hard entering a new school or even a new grade level and kind of feeling like you're a lone wolf, but pour in and try to find and make connections with people on campus. It doesn't have to be your grade level. That way, you feel a sense of community when you're at work, and it just makes it more meaningful. Number 6 is to find a teacher BFF that's a non-coworker. So that means someone that's in the profession. They are a teacher, but they don't work with you at school. That way, you can vent to them and pick their brain about topics that are happening on your campus, but you don't have to worry about any gossip starting on your behalf. It's a safe way to ensure that you are heard and listened to, but you don't have to worry about rumors being spread. I've found that friends are great, But a teacher friend goes a long way because they understand what you're going through. The teaching profession is crazy. You are a professional shaping young minds, but you're also dealing with these really interesting scenarios of raising children. So those two combined, really only a fellow teacher can really understand. Okay, number 7 is kind of personal to me, and I've just noticed I feel better when I make time to actually go outside during the day. As a teacher, your classroom's inside. Depending on the building, the hallway might be inside, and I found that the days where I literally am inside from the beginning of the day until the end, I kind of crave sunshine. So what I do is I try to walk a little bit further away to a copy machine or to a restroom so I can get outside and feel the sunshine. I try to look at those moments where I have to do outside duty, either after school or during recess or something, being outside on the playground with the kids. I am focused, I am engaged, but I also am secretly just soaking up the sunshine. Number 8. Clean your desk at the end of the day. Some teachers don't have desks, but there's probably an area in your classroom that you consider yours, and try to make it as tidy as you can before you leave. There's been days where it's been so hard and my classroom is in disarray and I'm not ready for the next day, but I tidy up my workspace so I can enter the next morning and feel fresh. I feel like number 9 is really important and often missed, and that's utilize your drive home. Whatever you need to decompress, consider that drive home your sacred space. Granted, you might have kids in the car with you, but that's another thing. How I like to spend my time in the car after a workday is in complete silence. All day long, I've either been talking to, listening, talking at, talking with, and it's nice to just drive home with the windows down in utter silence. I know some of my peers like to listen to podcasts, like to talk on the phone, like to listen to music. Whatever you need to do to feel like you can decompress, do that. Number 10 is utilize/avoid social media. Social media is an amazing resource to actually see inside other classrooms, to get inspiration, to be encouraged, to actually have teaching resources for your classroom. It can be a great tool. On the other hand, it can also be an area where you can feel lesser than or comparing yourself to another teacher. If you feel like that's starting to happen, I would suggest pause, take a break, write down some ideas of why you're an amazing teacher, and then re-enter social media once you can kind of get your head in a good spot. I'd have to do that all the time. Don't feel bad about it, but I would pay attention to when that's starting to happen to take a break. Okay, now I have a question for you. How do you preserve yourself as a teacher? Can you please drop it down in the comments below? I want to hear, and I want everyone else to be able to see how you take care of yourself. I really want my channel to be a place where we can collaborate and talk together and learn from each other. And it starts right here with you sharing how you preserve yourself as a teacher. You guys, thank you for watching my video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I can't wait to see you then.